like to change the channel just a little bit and talk a little bit about seeds, because there are seeds inside these apples. We're not going to talk about the seeds of this apple. I'm going to talk about the seeds of something else. It's pretty exciting in this county. And it just happened. And it's pumpkin. I want to change the channel from apples to pumpkin, because I think they're related. I grow pumpkins in my backyard. I like pumpkin. I have a lot of apple trees in my backyard. I have a lot of pumpkin in my backyard. This pumpkin right here grew in my yard this year. This pumpkin right here. It took more than 55 leaves to grow that. Pumpkins are a very exciting fruit. Are they fruit bombs? Say yes. Yeah. We'll call them fruit today. Pumpkins are a wonderful thing for you to grow as a school teacher. It's so wonderful that I think it's time that you grew one. Do we have the 6 people, Judy, lined up to do a special thing right now?
Yes, we do.
I want you to know that we want you to be in the pumpkin growing business with us this year. I have an assignment for each of you that want to take 2 seeds home with you. I have 2 pumpkin seeds for you today, and some very clear instructions about how to grow those pumpkins. I want you to go home and plant these pumpkins, not this month, but this spring. Now, these pumpkins are not just any pumpkin. These are giant pumpkins. These pumpkins, these 2 seeds I'm giving you, have been identified by color. When you get your pumpkin seed, I want you to open that pumpkin. No, don't open it. Turn it over to make sure you've got 2 seeds, one with a black dot on it, one with an orange dot on it. Does everybody have one? There's a contest going on here today. Can I talk about the contest?
Yes, please.
One of the things you get to do while you're here at this conference is come up to this pumpkin and pound on it. Pound on it with your hand. You can rock it. You can roll it. I want you to touch it. I want you to grab a hold of it. Hug it. Then I want you to guess how many pounds it weighs, because we have a prize for the winner who gets the closest weight to this pumpkin. Now, what's the largest pumpkin ever grown in the world this year? Broke the record. What's the weight?
I believe it was like 1,541 pounds.
That's close.
1,541.
That's close. It's higher than that. Who knows the world record this year? Yes.
1,689.
You're close. It actually is higher than that.
10,870.
I better stop this nonsense. Carefully, I want you to write this on the back. When you turn that orange paper over and write down the world record, and I want you to do a little math with me right now. I'm going to give you some numbers very quickly. The first number I want you to write is 1,000. Oh no. 1,810 pounds. That's the heaviest pumpkin in the world grown this year. 1,800 pounds. Now be careful, it takes 150 days to grow a pumpkin that size. 150 days, write that down. Subtract from that 60 days, because the first 60 days, the plant didn't even have a pumpkin. It just grew a vine. So we're talking about 90 days to grow a pumpkin that weighs 1,800 pounds. Divide 90 into 1,800. How many pounds of gain every day did that pumpkin make? What's the answer?
30.
I think it was 20 pounds a day, wasn't it? Every day that pumpkin was on the vine, it gained 20 pounds. Now, turn your paper over. Oh, you already turned over there. The orange pumpkin that I gave you, the orange seed, came from a 500-pound beautiful pumpkin. That seed is 1 year old. It's already a year old. It probably won't even grow. But if you get it to grow, it'll be the most beautiful pumpkin you ever saw in your life. It's absolutely gorgeous. The other pumpkin, the pumpkin seed that you have that has a black dot on it, that pumpkin has 4 grandparents. Listen carefully. That black dot seed has 4 grandparents, and all 4 of them weighed over 1,000 pounds. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home and plant those in April or May, those two plants, and grow at least one pumpkin on each vine. Read the directions on there, put your glasses on, they're very tiny print, follow the direction. The next time I hear from you will be October of 11. I want you to send me an email and tell me how much those two pumpkins weigh. The yellow, the bright orange one, and the heavyweight. I want to know. Because really what I want you to do is learn a little bit more about pumpkin growing, because I want you to cross these two. I want you to cross the 500-pound pumpkin with the really big one. Because the seed that comes out of those two pumpkins, you're going to give to your class the next year. You understand that? So I gave you two. By the time you're finished with this thing in October of 11, you'll have 600 seeds of the most beautiful, big, heavyweight pumpkin in your town. And you can start a contest with your kids to see who can grow one that weighs 1,000 pounds. You like that idea? Say yes. Yes. What's my email? My email is already on the page for you. My address is on there. Do you have a question?
Do I need to plant them far apart so they don't automatically love each other?
Are there any other questions? The answer is yes.
And then how do I cross-pollinate them?
Well, that's really hard. Go to bigpumpkins.com and you'll learn how to hand pollinate your pumpkin, because you must hand pollinate it. So listen carefully. You must know the difference between a male flower and a female flower, and your students will really like this, because they will flower before school's out. You will get flowers on your two pumpkin plants before school's out in June. You'll see a male flower or a female flower. What you're going to do is hide those from the bees, and you're going to be the bee, and you will hand pollinate the orange one with the black dot one. You will hand pollinate that female flower, so that the cross... Somebody call Stephanie out of the room, please. You're going to hand pollinate them. No more questions while I'm talking. I want to hear from you in October. I suggest that you leave only one pumpkin on each plant. Only one. If you don't have room for a pumpkin in your school garden or at your own personal home, there is somebody on your campus who does. It's usually the principal. I would go to the principal first to plant the plants. They don't have to be close together, but the day you pollinate, you need to cut the flowers off and take the male over to his house and pollinate his female. He may not like that, but you teach him all the stuff I'm teaching you, and he'll be so excited he won't know what to do. You understand that? I'm getting near the end.
So you're saying we could take the male from one to the female of the other, and the male from the other to the female of the one?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. The day before your flower opens, you will learn very quickly which flower is going to open tomorrow. It's easy to tell on pumpkins. So the day that's going to happen, you cut the male off, put it in your house, inside the door, put it in a vase. Because the bees don't usually go in your kitchen. Put that flower in your kitchen. The next morning, that male flower will open up. You collect the pollen from that, run over to the principal's house, and pollinate his, which he's covered up. He has to cover her up, because she's going to open up that same day. You're going to pollinate his. Gee, this is more complicated than I wanted it to be. He will love it. So will your students when you give them a pedigree pumpkin seed next year, because you know the parents.
My problem is I always get the male flowers a long time ahead of the female flowers.
That's right. That's right. It's very complicated. No more questions from her.
Why don't you put the plants right next to the bees do all that stuff?
Because right next door is a piece of trash. And you don't want that trash to be the father of your seeds. I had no idea we were going to get these kind of questions. You in the end, Stephanie. I want you to pick up your apple one more time. If I gave you a knife, could you tell me how many seeds there are inside here? No, answer the question. Yes. The answer is yes. If I picked up one of those seeds, could you look at it and tell how many apples were in that seed? Say no.
No.
Think about that on your way home. You cannot look at a seed and tell how productive it's going to be. The only way to tell if a seed's going to be productive is to plant it in good soil. Take good care of it, nourish it, feed it. And that's what we do as teachers, isn't it? We take these little twerps that come in our door. And we try not to look at them. We try not to judge them before they're planted in the right place. And the best place for a kid to be is in your class, with you there. Not a substitute. The best place to find out if you're going to be productive is to plant the kid in the right place. And that's school, with the environment that is loving and careful. And so when you see this kid start to grow and be productive, it surprises the family sometimes, doesn't it? Keep planting seeds. Keep planting seeds. And quit making judgments about these funny-looking kids that come into your classroom every day. And take good care of them and become ambassadors for agriculture. Feed them well. Good stuff that you learn at conferences like this. Thank you very much for coming today.